One of the things that I want to go back to was purpose.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big believer that, you know, one of the things because I'm mad when it comes to behavioral psychology and just behavioral science. And one of the things that, you know, Dan Pink, you know, I'm sure you've heard of Dan Pink. He, you know, basically brought together a lot of research from everyone from, you know, Carol Dweck and Csikszentmihalyi. And one of the things that he talks about in the book Drive, the surprising truth about what really motivates us is that when people focus on money, they're 8 times more likely to engage in deceit, deception and fraud-related behaviours. You know, and 7 times more likely to experience stress-related illness.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting, I find the entrepreneurs that I work with, the ones that find it most challenging psychologically to move forward when things are going tough, is because their focus is on money.
Yeah.
But what I've also discovered is the ones that focus on purpose.
Yeah.
And I know I'll speak for myself personally. You know, business is one of those things where the only thing you're guaranteed is, you know, taxes and chaos.
Yeah.
You know that you're going to have a big tax bill at the end of the year if you do well.
Yeah.
No matter how good you do, you're going to get a big tax bill.
Yeah.
And there's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
But what I've discovered is in the midst of chaos, everybody needs something that they can reach out and hold on to that's not moving.
Yeah.
That grounds us and provides a level of support and certainty. And sometimes it's not available in another person.
Yeah.
You know, and I found for me, and that's why I really resonate with what you're saying when you're referring to the bathroom floor incident, is purpose. And I think that's one of the greatest discoveries that we can make for ourselves is the reason that we are actually here.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you find yours?
Well, see the book in front of you.
Which is interesting. Her latest book, Purpose, Find Your Why. And the how will look after itself. Is this your latest book?
That one is my latest book, Before Risk and Resilience comes out shortly. So, yeah, and I mean, it feels like quite an arrogant thing to write a book called Purpose. However, all my books I write, as you would know, from layman's terms, and I'm like, I only write from my experience. And generally I come up with a topic and then I step into it. So, you know, a lot of people become the guru of something and then they write a book about it. I decide that I want to expand my own thinking and, you know, learnings and I'm a seeker. And so I'll come up with a topic and then I'll step into it. So many things. I think purpose for me, well, let's talk about other people. I think it can be a few things. So if you start to listen to people outside of you saying, wow, you're really good at that, and it can be the most simple things like cooking or whatever it is, and you start to hear that external validation, wow, you're great at that, you're great at that. And eventually you put 2 and 2 together and you're like, wow, I'm really good at that and I freaking love it. And maybe there's some commercial side of that. So that can be one thing. Another is, I think, as I mentioned before, being really pissed off or agitated or like just, I think that is one of the best places to find your purpose because it's like whatever's boiling up inside you, it's like, this is driving me freaking nuts. And you want to, from that, you're propelled to actually make a change in the world. And I think that's where a great driving purpose comes from. Adversity. I mean, I've been through a lot, divorce and breakups and alienating my family and giving up drinking and all sorts of other things. And before I gave up drinking in 2004, my life was not pretty at all. Like it was really spiraling out of control. And I could have really quite easily drunk myself to death or anyway, let's not get too somber. It was pretty bad. And I made a decision in 2004, I got some help and then I was like, far out. I made a very conscious decision. It was actually the 8th of November 2004. I am not going to live my life like that anymore. I am actually going to step into joy and I am going to, again, flip what's going on for me and I'm going to, rather than be an angry little fucker, I'm going to be like, well, how can I actually use this to help other people? How can I flip this on its head? And for me, purpose again became much bigger and much more than me. It became about being in service and actually using myself as a conduit and flipping things that happened to me and turning them into a positive.
And I honestly think that's one of your gifts is your ability to take your life experience and share it with others in a way where they go, oh my God, she's just like me.
Yes, thank you. Well,
I feel so normal.
Yeah, it's, I mean, well before Collective, I just think it's about being relatable and attainable, and particularly with social media these days, it's all this, especially like, gosh, it was funny. I started the magazine and it completely skipped my mind that I would be an editor and suddenly I'd be sitting at like front row in runway shows and things. Like I just didn't even think, because I wasn't from that world. I was like, I'm just starting a mag to bring all these amazing people together and inspire other people. And this whole other world came with it. And some of that can be quite, narcissistic. And so I've lost my train of thought.
It was a good one.
I mean,
it was about being relatable.
Relatable and attainable. Because I realised that social media, there's all this glitz and glamour and influencers and celebrity and everything else. And I just think for me, it's really important to have that authenticity piece and for people to go, she's just like me. I've kind of become the pin-up child for she knows nothing about anything, and something works. And that's kind of who I want to be. I want to show people that if you believe in yourself, if you are courageous enough to find what's holding you back, how you're self-sabotaging, what your purpose is, what's your why, what juices you up and makes you want to jump out of bed every morning, then anyone can do anything. And I swear to God, the journey I've been on with Collective, I absolutely know in every single cell in my body that to be true, that any of us, if we're courageous enough, can do anything.
There you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Unstoppable with me, your host, Kerwin Ray. And please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you get to see all of these interviews in the flesh. Share this podcast with your friends. I would love to hear what you guys think. Thanks for joining us.